Greetings. Welcome to the You Better Say That Talk Show. I am your host, Alzata Florence, and I am so happy that you took the time to join us today. I have with me some of the most awesomest niece and nephews in the whole world. We're going to be talking about marriage. We're going to be talking about the institution of marriage, the sanctity of marriage. We're going to be talking about marriage today. And these two people are the best people to talk about marriage ever. So thank you for coming today, my niece and nephew, Elder Reginald and Katina Dunn. Woo!
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us. We're glad to be here today. We really are.
Well, I'm so glad that you guys could come. A couple weeks ago, we talked about marriage and we talked about your ministry and talked about what you guys have done. I remember last year, I think, y'all rolled up on me over here in the parking lot.
Yeah, we did.
Talking about Auntie Al, Apostle Al. We got something for you. We talked about marriage right out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun. It was just phenomenal. It was just empowering to talk about marriage, because marriage is very, very important. Yes. Marriage is important to God. He ordained it. He orchestrated it. He had a plan for it. He gave us instructions in the Bible on how he want marriage to be. And so today, I want, I'm glad that you guys decided to come so we can talk about marriage.
Yeah,
let's talk about marriage. We're gonna talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it tonight.
I want y'all to get down with it. I want y'all to talk about it because it is important.
It's important.
This is something that God himself created from the foundation of the world. It started with Adam and Eve in the garden. When he brought them together. And he instituted the marriage. He sanctified the marriage. He ordained the marriage. And so today, we're going to talk about marriage today. Marriage don't look like it did back then.
Not at all.
It's kind of different. So we got a lot to talk about. So we're going to dive right into the marriage institute, the marriage today. What you guys think about marriage, what God ordained, and how he want marriage to be. So let's just dive in and see what God has to say through Dunn Home Improvement, the marriage edition. Amen. So let's get this started. Tell us about your family. First of all, we need to hear about you guys and where you guys started and how you got started in your marriage and your family.
Wow, it's a funny story.
Lord.
Of course, everybody know we are the Dunns. We started dating when we was working together at Crystal's. And at that time, I'm the manager, he the employee. Back then you couldn't do that because they called it insubordination or something.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
We had to keep it on the wraps. We had to keep it a secret. We couldn't
keep it under the rug.
Yeah. But it started back then, and I tried to not date him.
Right.
I started trying to get my friends like, he'll be a good man for you. Reginald will be a good man for you. You ought to go out on a date with him. Because I was like, in our mind, we think about how we want somebody to be for us. You want them tall, dark, and handsome. You want them light skin with big muscles. You name all your stuff, but they don't be what God have for you.
Yes.
So he was standing right there in my face, and I didn't know that's who God had ordained for me. So we started back then. Now, 26 years ago, but 25 years married. But that's how we got started.
Wow. So nephew, what did you see in this lady? I need to know. She was the boss lady. You dating the boss lady.
I just saw her charismatic smile and just her just exciting, just to be around. We did many things together at work. She always called me to help to do stuff, and I was just admiring the scene.
Yeah.
What scene? What
But it didn't start off that way. But
Yeah,
as you
yeah.
prolong, as time progressed, I began to take interest in her. So
Yeah, yeah.
and she had told me that she would that I would make somebody a good husband, not even looking at me in that light, So she was trying to get me away, and not knowing what she was trying to get away,
Oh my
As I look back now, yeah, I saw dark chocolate and just
Ooh,
um,
is that the best
she was
part?
always smiling, She was always happy, just lighting up the room when she come in, when she
Yeah.
at work and stuff, and so that what kind of drew my attention to her.
Okay, awesome. So she tried to give you away.
I
She tried to get
did.
me
She
away.
tried to give away her Boaz, y'all.
I did. That's how you know that you can't go off of what your intellect on what you think. You had to definitely seek God for it, and the right man will come along for you. I drove a 1970 hooped in Malibu and used to like to wear this orange coat, and I listen to 8-track tapes. Why is we got these 8-track tapes? And so I'm trying to figure out, okay, God, I don't know if this ain't what you told me.
But what did it tell you? Evidently something totally different than what you were thinking and hoping for.
I was going for intellect. I was
Right.
going off of my intellect of what I felt. You get that picture painted of
Sure.
what we feel like they should be and
Right.
what we looking at. It ain't even what you need.
Oh my goodness.
It's not really what we need. So God sent you what you need. Because I didn't need nobody else like me that was all bubbling out the roof. He had to send somebody that toned down to bring me back in the role. Like, go get in the role.
No doubt.
Get your little self in the role.
Enough already.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's good. That's good because opposites attract.
Yes.
And so he was quiet and laid back, and you were bubbly, and then the opposite attract.
Yes.
But you said something when you said how we have a picture in our mind and in our think what we want. But isn't it funny how God gives us somebody totally different? Well, I've watched you guys be married 25 years, and you guys have accomplished so much. I mean, you have businesses, you have a beautiful home with a pool in the backyard, and you have risen together as a couple. You may not have started that way, but working together, it has brought you all to where you are today. And you all are a blessed couple.
Praise God.
Blessed beyond measure. So that's how come you can talk about it. Because I know that if you come from rags to riches, I could say.
Come on.
And then now you're able to bless other people and then show them and share with them how marriage is supposed to be. Is there a perfect marriage?
No.
No, ma'am, no, sir.
Is there? Are you sure?
I'm sure.
You're positive.
What works for the Duns may not work for the Florence.
Yes, that's it.
So I guess you could say it's perfect for us for what God put in place. But is it just an all-out perfect marriage? No, because we all come from two different backgrounds, two different how we was raised different.
Yes.
So I don't think ever it'll just be perfect,
Right.
but it'll be
Good.
much close to it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's great. So tell me what prompted you all to birth Done Home Improvement Marriage Edition. How did this come out? About? I need to know. You're going to let her tell the story, okay.
The pandemic. First of all,
Oh my goodness.
First of all, it was the pandemic, and then so we had knew that we're not gonna do anything for our 24th anniversary. So we were like, okay, God, what can we do? And we was headed to church that Sunday, and I looked and I said, done. That's what I say, done. What do you think about being a blessing to other couples? Because what we looked at over the years, so many people poured into us, poured into our marriage to help us build, to help us improve what we already had. We had people like you all that was great examples, that you can glean from, you can look at and pour back. People that came in when we was to our lowest to say, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. They came in and encouraged us and gave us the tools that were going to help us, through the next 25 years.
Yes.
So
yes.
That day we talked about it. And he was like, okay, when we get back home from church, let's figure out what we're going to do. And when we got home, we sat down, and he's the one that liked to work on a lot of stuff on the home. And I was like, okay, well, what you think about doing home improvement? And he was like, okay, we could do that. Let's pour into other married couples.
Okay.
Yeah, but, and I began to look at it as we was doing that. You have so many different tools, and that's how we did a lot of things through the time we was doing it, and it caused us to. We were using different tools like measuring tools and tape measures and drills and different things. And we were just saying that utilizing the different aspect of what they're used for. You know, like measuring stick, measure. Sometimes you have to measure, things out and in your walk with God. I mean, with your marriage. Sometimes you have to level things out. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes things get unbalanced in your relationship, and you have to find things to level it back out. And so that kind of helped inspire the done home improvement to go that aspect of it to build. Talking about building the marriage. So and we were talking about doing the tools that help build houses and stuff like that. Every now and then, and I think our last one of our episodes we was talking about how sometimes it's like your home. You have to go in, and every now and then you have to remodel. Every now and then you have to go in and reconstruct and reconfigure things up. Put new paint on the wall. And sometimes what happens with marriage, it becomes stale because people just get used to the same old. And I often say, when you come in, we was young and stuff. We were just running, and you do anything for them. You want to, you stay up all night. You talk on the phone, breathing through the phone, fall asleep, and all those different things. And somewhere along the way, we forget about those things. That and I often say about Father Bailey, he left something that stuck with me for a long time. Keep the honey in the moon, and that's what we have to learn to do, to keep the honey in the moon. Whatever you got to do to make marriage work.
That's right. That's right. So the pandemic brought this on.
The pandemic
and got your wheels are spinning, and this was birthed out in the pandemic. But marriages, I heard you say something about marriages have to be built. And like you said, coming from this side of the track, from this side of the track, from this part of the world, this part of the world, this background, that background, coming together and making it work. And it has to be built. And marriage is work. Marriage is ministry. And it's good that you all are out there telling married couples and even single people that marriage has to be built. Marriage takes a lot of work. And marriage takes a lot of selflessness. It's about giving up of who you are, being considerate of the other person, and then vice versa. And so that means it needs to be built. And so you all have the tools. Come on now, to help build marriages in our community, in our country, in our nation. Because you all have over 1,000 followers on your page. So this is just not in Lafayette or Opelika. It's going across the nation. So people need to hear about Done Home Improvement, the marriage editions. Tune in. There are a lot of blended families out there. My marriage is blended. And it has worked, and it's been great. So since there are a lot of blended families out there, tell us some tools to make blended families successful. Because we have heard some horror stories of blended families. And then there are families like ours that has been successful. So talk about some tools for successful blended families.
I'll just say what worked for us. And then I'll let Don, because he came in on it. What worked for us, my children, I taught them to respect anyway. And then far as the relationship with the fathers before Don, we could communicate. Our lines of communication were open, and when our relationship was over, they knew that our relationship was over, but we still had kids that we still got to raise. We still got to groom to bring up to be young ladies. So we knew, we learned to work together and co-parent. So when Don did come in on the scene, it blended us in, and the children was able to respect him. And I think, and I'll let him talk about his side of it, but I think a lot of what is with us, his mom, she raised an awesome young man, 3 of them, so she had already instilled in him the home life, how to take care of family, and when you find a man that loves their mom, that's the first thing. If they can pour back into their mom, they're going to take care of you. you know they're gonna take care of it. And I guess the great thing with our blended family, he had 3 daughters. He came in with 3 daughters, so you gotta love them daughters as if they was like your mom.
Yes,
And so
yes.
it made it easy. I'll say it from my perspective
Mhm.
for him when he came in because they already had that level of respect. And even with us blending, they didn't see me date a lot of people, and I didn't bring a lot of people around, so they didn't have a lot of chance to say, "Oh, daddy, daddy, daddy." And well, a lot of times now these young people they sure to call everybody dad.
Yes, they do.
And then when
Oh
they
my
do
goodness.
get to the level of somebody coming in to actually be the one that's going to be in their life, it's hard for them to gain that respect
Yes.
from that one person because they scared that okay, this not going to work, and then they'll be very harsh toward that marriage coming together. But
That's right.
I think for the most part, what helped us, his mom raised them to be solid men and to take care of the house.
That's
They know how
awesome.
to do it and to take care of family.
That's powerful. That is powerful.
Yeah, she instilled a lot. Like I said, come from a family looking at how hard she worked, and the care and the love that she gave us. So it was easy for me to really just come in to take on the responsibility of help raising them, my daughters. And like she was saying, they was already she already had trained them to be respectful, and they respected me and I respected them in their places.
Yeah.
Even unto today, they never called me out my name. I never called them out their name or none of the sort. So and they respect me, and I learned that even to love her,
Yes.
to learn to really love her like I need to love her, I had to love her daughters,
Yes,
her
yes.
kids. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a
And a lot of
package deal,
times,
right?
a lot of
Package
times we
deal.
overlook that. A lot of times guys want to just want
Yeah.
this
That's
and don't
it.
want that, don't
Yes,
want what come
yes.
with it. But and I was willing to accept all of that. And not only that, I was willing to accept even knowing that dad was going to be in their dad was going to be in their life. So
That's
we
it.
talked about that, and I respected that too because I knew
Mhm.
that she was done with them,
Yeah,
and it was
right.
over, and I knew that she was still gonna have to deal with them some kind of way. And
That's
it was gonna
true.
have to be like co-parenting.
That's
And
right.
so, and the thing about it, they respected me because they knew what she was, she stood for,
Right.
and they knew what I stood for. So,
Mhm.
but I was able to get along with that, and go along with it to the point to where, and we talked. I'm talking about the dad. We
Yes,
talk,
yes,
we
yes,
fellowship
yeah.
and
Yeah,
stuff like that. So
exactly.
a lot of times, and a lot of times, I think what happens is the ladies sometimes get so offensive toward the dads of the children, and makes it. It's kind of like throws it off.
Right,
It
right.
just
Bring a lot of conflict.
Right,
conflict.
right. And you have to respect them because you still. I mean, you got kids in this thing, and so when you're bringing conflict between the two. Now your kids are being affected by that, but she really helped made it easy for me to raise them and be a part. And so I just dealt with it, and I love them as my own. Never like I said, never disrespected them, and I just loved them. And
Yes.
I gave the love that was given to me from my mom, and to embrace them and just love them. So, it was easy. It was easy to love. And I'm speaking from the done because I know in certain situations you can go in where the kids are ruthless, they are disrespectful, they don't call you nothing, and I earned their level of trust and level of respect to where they start calling me dad.
Yes.
And that's and like she was saying, you can't. That dad is almost like love. You can't utilize, you can't throw that love out there like just loosely. You can't throw dad out there loosely. So I gained that trust, that respect for them to call me dad. So
Wow.
that's how we dealt with it, and I just love them still today.
I tell you what, I'm over here trying to fight back tears and try not to break down on the set, but I think I'm gonna let the bull out in a minute. I'm gonna let the bull out in a minute. I tell you what, I'm just glad my eyelashes may fall off, not for sure, but this is it's just so powerful. It's just my heart is just overflowing with just so much joy and happiness just to see that. Because that's not everybody's story,
That's right.
and I love it how you talked about you loved them and you accepted them as well as the eye candy that was in your eye. You knew this was a package deal, and so you couldn't come in with just her on your mind. You had little girls that you had to embrace as well, and you did that, and you did it. And your mom built such a strong and a solid foundation of example of love and support, and you wasn't a lazy man. You went to work. And so you worked not on the outside of the home, but you worked on the inside, building your family as well. And so they even call you dad. And that is powerful. And it's good. It's so easy to have a blended family when everybody can get along.
Everybody.
I encourage everybody to get along.
Yes.
You know, well, you know, you got mama baby drama, you got daddy baby drama, you got all of that. You know, so much conflict that can be in a blended family when you're not with that person's father or mother. In my blended family, we have kids. You know, I had April, and then my husband had he had 3 kids at the time, and when we first got married, and his ex-wife and I, we call each other wife-in-laws.
The wife-in-law.
We call each other wife-in-laws, and we love each other, honey. We talk and we fish together, and we go to all the the functions with the kids. You know, we ever get a chance to, and we call each other wife. Hey, we introduce each other. This is my wife-in-law, Alzata. This is my wife-in-law, Vicky. You know, she, when my dad died, she came down and spent the day. And we just, and so it's so wonderful because when you have grandkids and everybody gonna meet up, we don't want to brawl.
Right.
We don't want to fight to break out. We need to be together.
Right.
So that is just so powerful, and I'm just so happy that this is just powerful. That's all I know to say. Y'all just doing it up in here. Okay, so since God ordained the institution of marriage, how do you feel that marriage has changed over the years? How do you feel this changed?
It changed a lot. I mean, you think, for one, it changed too with people not wanting to be married. But then I would go back to say, like she was saying, the vows. It changed because people don't honor the vows. And we say it, we go through it, and we was talking about on one of our sets that we invest in so much when we get married.
Yeah.
The wedding, the reception, spend so much amount of money on those things. I mean, $10,000-$15,000, and here you come down the road a couple months later, you want to get a divorce. And I often say the investment is when you put it in as you're going through your marriage.
Right.
After you make that, I mean, we want to do this big, put this big show on for everybody in the beginning, but then what are you putting in your marriage to keep that thing going? And so, you talking about sacrifice. That's not in the marriage. You're talking about the respect. It's not in the marriage. You're talking about, you said, to love and to honor, to from death do us part, to sickness and health, riches and poor. I mean God put a man. That's a strong mandate on the couple, and people are not willing to really go to that extreme to make sure that works.
That's it.
Because first thing come up, first problem come up, issue come up. Oh, I don't want it. I'm on part. No, but this the time when you got to work on your marriage. You got to make this thing work. And a lot of times we want to bail out. We love bailouts.
You better say that. That's what you better say.
So people want bailouts and they want to just go. So we don't hold that thing to the high esteem that it should be. And so now we take it lightly, and people, you got people don't even want. I hear people say, I don't want to get married.
Wow.
And I think a lot of times because of what they have seen married couples do. Yeah, and even with that, even with the marriage, you have so much now to where you look at the world, and people now they're married, and yet they still have girlfriends, boyfriends. They have a whole lot.
You better say that.
So
you better say that.
You let the standard down, and so marriage now is almost like it's just a cliche.
Yeah, it's a cliche.
It's a fairy tale too.
Yeah, it's a fairy tale.
Just something to do. Oh, I always want to do this just to see how I feel, and then you walk out there.
I believe it's a fairy tale too, a cliche fairy tale, because every girl's dream is to get married.
Yes.
And have the big wedding. To walk down the aisle. Like you said, you spend $10,000 on a wedding that don't last 10 days. And so it's a fairy tale. And then once the wedding is over and the honeymoon is over, then you know what? Reality sets in, and you realize you're not willing to put in the work. Right. You're not willing to put in the tools that that God has given us, but to make marriage work. So we get in it for all the wrong reasons a lot of times. And so that's good. That's a good answer. So, what are some of the challenges you see in marriage today? We kind of covered that, but go ahead, Niece.
One of that we've heard a lot of couples discuss is finances. it's a battle financially, because now marriage is so individualized to it's like my money, my bank account, my car, your car. That's my this or my that, and then financially they won't combine their stuff together, then it becomes a hardship.
Yes, yes.
So when you get financial hardship, we've heard some they start shutting the bedroom down. We'll just say that.
Wow.
If okay, well, why we couldn't get no new refrigerator? Okay, we ain't getting no new refrigerator. Okay, well, I'm gonna wait a few days before we and it's happening.
Yes.
And so financially, it's a big challenge for them, but technically it's not if they all just merge together. Know that when you got married, it became a oneness. It become a unity.
That's right.
I could use, for example, a lot of time people say, well, why all y'all cars say Duns? That's Reggie's truck. No, this belongs to the Duns.
The done.
You know,
Done,
so
done, done.
We
done.
try not to divide that up. So challenges that they face today that we've heard, and we talked to a lot of younger people, and I think it comes with that because of course they want to get their hair braided, they want to get their nails done. I want to,
Yes.
buy me a new outfit every week, and they forgot. Okay, I got a spouse.
Yes.
Um,
Children.
I got
Bills.
children. We got bills.
Yes.
And that kind of stuff wasn't factored in when they got married. So
Yes.
now they're coming together saying, hey, what are we gonna do now? Not that they don't make enough, it's just that coming together, they have to figure out, okay, how to make it work with this that
Right.
we got.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we've talked to a lot of them, and finances have been one of their biggest challenges.
I agree with
And
that.
when finances come, of course, that come other areas of anxiety and arguing and
Yeah.
bickering and fighting, and you don't know why you mad, but so
Mhm.
and that be another hardship that we've heard people saying, even in our marriage,
Mhm. In the beginning.
years in the beginning, we saw finances was a problem, but did we argue about it? No. Did we probably was a little upset here and there?
Yeah. Yes, that's it.
But it was one of the problems that we've heard people face, and then with us, that was one of our challenges that we had faced as well.
I
Right.
think
Right.
too, I think a struggle is that married people want to live single,
Single.
being married,
You better say that.
and not really coming in.
As
Because
one.
sometimes I can use her for example. She was independent. She
Yes,
she had her
very.
own thing going on
Yeah.
before I came.
Yes,
and I would
sir.
ask her, can I give something on the bills or whatever? She was like,
I
no,
got
thank you, no, don't worry, I'm fine. She might have been struggling or whatever, but she was so independent, she wasn't
I
gonna take
got
her money,
it.
what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
And so that was before we got married.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Oh, yeah,
At
yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah.
And so, but a lot of times we try to live this thing and not really merging over to become one.
One. That's right.
We
That's
two, but
good.
we become one.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we want to stay one, we want to stay two in the marriage. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But
Separate in
we
the
got to
marriage.
come together, and I
Yeah.
think that's a big challenge that couples have to really overcome to really
Yeah.
learn how to depend. And this thing here was this. You have to look at it's not a competition.
Well, come on now.
Come on,
It's
sir.
not that we are competing against each other,
Yes, sir.
but it's that I'm completing her
That's right.
and I'm complimenting her,
Yes.
and she's doing the same as me.
Yes.
When I go out, they see me.
Yes.
When
Wow.
she go out, they see her.
That's
So,
right.
but a lot of times couples want to fight amongst each other. You saying earlier about my stuff and your stuff and my thing, my children. And both of y'all had kids. Why you gonna say they mine? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And don't want the man to take care of his child.
Yeah, you better say that.
But it caused conflict, and so we want to continue to live single in a marriage situation.
And that's
Wow.
a
And that's a hardship. Hardship coming. So then now I'm gonna get back on you because you did something toward me. So I'm gonna get back.
Oh
And
my
do this. So
goodness.
you make it hard. So you have to
Yes.
come together and make it work.
Yes.
You have to make it work.
That's good. You have to make it work.
Make it.
Make it.
Make it
Sometimes you
work.
have to force it.
That's
Yeah.
And when you first get married, you live this single life,
Right.
life, you didn't have nobody to think about but you.
But you,
Now that you're in a relationship, now you're in a marriage, now everything needs to come together.
yes,
Yeah.
Like I said, the two become one,
Yes.
and it's no longer I, but it's us, it's we.
Us.
And so then now you got to learn how to sacrifice, because you might not can get your hair done. You might not can get your,
Right.
your toes painted or your, your pedicure or whatever. But this is the time now we're trying to build. Let's build these finances.
Yes.
This, you can't do this month. This is what's got to take place.
That's right.
First things first.
First things first.
So what's important? So tell us the importance of communication in a marriage. Communicating, Lord Jesus, is that's another challenge in marriage right now.
That
Another
is
challenge.
another
is to
challenge
communicate.
is
Let's
communication.
talk about that.
And I always say with communication, it all flows together. Communication, because if you can't communicate, you can't trust them.
That's right.
If you can't trust them, you can't love them.
That's it.
All those pretty much go together. But the challenge of communication, it's a breakdown.
Yes.
Because sometimes, and I'm gonna let Don say it because he say it all the time, that he ain't no mind reader.
Oh.
I can't read your mind. Why? You're gonna have to just say it. Well, I be like, you all knew that. You all knew about my hair slanging or something. You didn't know it. Did you not know when my fingernail popped off that I wanted to, say something? But see, if we expect us as women,
Yes.
married women, you expect your husband to just know right off.
Automatic.
He already know. No, he didn't know it was that time of the month. He ain't counting 28 days
days
in between. He don't care. He cares nothing about it because that ain't what he got to do.
That's
so
right.
he don't know that your hormones are acting up and you didn't tell him. You should have known it was that time of the month for me. That's why you rolling all up on me. No, I didn't know. Why you acting like that? So breakdown in community, it's a breakdown because sometimes we feel like our spouses are mind readers.
Yes.
You've been with me long enough. You should have known that. No, because we change every day.
Yes, we do.
And we definitely learned a
And
lot
we
from each
change
other
every
during
day.
this pandemic because
Yes.
we had to be in the house together 24/7. We couldn't go to Walmart. Y'all, we couldn't go to Walmart. You just had to stay in the house and do DoorDash and get your food like that. So you learned a lot.
Yeah.
So it was breakdown in communication. Or tear something up. Say it, Doug. What you
Say it, nephew.
I think it's shine the light. Communication helps shine the light on things. A lot of times we don't talk, and I was one too. I didn't talk because
Okay.
From your background, from hearing people talk down on you, call you out different names and stuff like that, and so it caused you to shut up. And so I think you get to a point to where you can trust your wife or trust your husband to be real with them, to open up, to talk. Because sometimes we feel like we can't talk to them, or they won't feel me where I'm coming from, or they won't. They might look at me different if I talk to them, about my issue that I have or whatever.
Right.
And so a lot of times we don't communicate. It does break the marriage down and cause a lot of things to happen. Then you start messing with trust issues and stuff like that. I don't know. You don't talk about that. What you doing something, or you got somebody, or what's on your mind, and she would ask me a lot of times, Don, you okay?
Right.
Yeah, I'm fine. And she knew I wasn't fine, but she knew my posture, my how
demeanor and everything.
demeanor. And so I was like, I'm fine, I'm good. And I just go on and deal with it, never talk about it. And so, but she brought she helped brought that communication out, alone. I'm not gonna exclude God, because God
Yes, don't do that.
He did his work.
That's
but
right.
you have people in your life to help assist you
Yes.
in your deliverance.
Come on now, you better say that.
And so she helped assist me in my deliverance, and like even my role play as being a man, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Taking responsibility and taking the lead.
That's
because
right.
I came from a place where I didn't have to worry about this and worry about that.
That's right.
Be the man and stuff like that. So I just was laid back. And so she was like, Don, what do you think about doing this? She kind of forced me to start making decisions, and because I was ashamed and I was kind of scared, because men, when we do something, we don't want the repercussion of I told you, I knew it wasn't gonna work. And sometimes women can beat men up because they made a mistake. And so sometimes you say, well, I don't want to make this choice or this decision because I already know what's gonna come behind it. I don't want to live with it. So she started helping me to start making decisions. Done, What you? I mean, it was just a simple thing of what you want to eat.
Yes,
Whatever you. I mean, I think I sung that song for years. Whatever you want to eat.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Why,
You know,
whatever
so-
you want.
And I always put it on her, and she was trying to help me lead.
Take the lead.
You know, to go somewhere and do things.
I
So,
love it.
and I was just me. Like I said, I was just wanted to sit back, wouldn't do nothing. I mean, I wouldn't do nothing. So
Wow.
she helped me, and so it caused me to develop my confidence.
Oh, that's
And that was a lack
awesome.
of confidence that I had within myself, and even in my manhood to really step up to take the role
Right.
as the head of the house. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times she back to the kids again. She already had trained them and put them in place, and so a lot of times I was okay because she already
She handled it.
she handled, you know. It wasn't dad, go get them. You know,
Right,
dad, go make them sit down. You know,
Yeah.
she said it was done deal.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so but
I love
she
it.
helped guide me into that place of
Yeah.
stepping up to be the man that I need to be in our marriage and our relationship.
That's
Because
right.
I just didn't have it.
That's
I didn't
right.
have that
That's
confidence, and so very ashamed, very fearful, and so learned to take the role over the years, and I thank God
I
that she
do
was
too.
there to help
Yeah.
help me
I
do
do
that,
too.
and I
I
thank
do
God
too.
for giving me that
Thank
boldness.
you.
Because a lot of times, because see, the thing that I dealt with was the challenge of the enemy fought me with the alcoholism,
Yeah.
and so I didn't do a lot of things unless I got drunk.
Right.
You know, we get drunk, we feel like,
You can do
I
anything
can do
then,
anything.
you can say
I can say
anything.
anything.
What?
You know, that's my alibi is, oh man, I was drinking last night or whatever. And so the enemy made me think I had to have the alcohol,
Right.
but
In order to
God already had put it on the inside of me.
Wow.
But I had to have a helpmate to
Thank you,
help
Father.
me come on through and walk this thing out.
And you're an awesome man today. I'm telling
Yes,
you.
he
You're
is.
good.
Yes,
He
he
is an
is.
awesome man today. And that came from God using you to be a
Right.
helpmate
Yep.
and a wife instead of a knife.
Come on.
Ooh, my God,
Come on.
that's good.
Because you know, we good. This tongue right here.
We cut them up.
Chop them down into chop steak.
Show no.
You know, but you was a wife instead of a knife. You was a helpmeet to help birth him. And now he is an awesome man of God.
Yes,
Yes, he is. Kudos.
God be the glory.
Yes, God.
Yes.
That's awesome. It's powerful. It's powerful testimony. Y'all are just fabulous. They just fabulous. Yes. So listen, seeing through the eyes of God, what do you want to see happen in marriages today? What do y'all want to see happen in marriage today? Especially now that you have birthed Home Improvement, the Marriage Edition. You all are on a mission. You all are on a mission to help marriages. What do you want to see happen? What's your goal? What's your mission?
Go first.
I would like to see more togetherness,
Yes.
and it goes back to what one of the things we was doing. We was going
Building.
out in the community, been a blessing to married couple,
Mhm.
and we went in the store,
In the
big store, mall,
In the mall.
looking for a couple to bless,
Looking.
married couple.
Yeah.
And could not find a married couple to bless.
No more.
So
Wow.
marriage couples are not enjoying themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They're not spending time with themselves. And so we are here to try to build relationship, try to encourage relationship to spend time together, to enjoy each other more. And we actually went through a good bit of our years
Yeah.
missing out on enjoying ourselves.
Enjoying ourselves.
Because
Yeah.
Most
I
marriages.
praise God, we went through, we did ours in church, but my thing is I'm giving God praise because we sold in the beginning,
Yes.
even though we didn't go a lot of places with our anniversaries,
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
did not.
but we sold into the ministry. So now God blessed us. We see the fruit of our sowing, of our labors of sowing
Yeah.
in the beginning. So God opened the door now to where we can go and we can do things, we can enjoy each other. And so we want to build the couples, at least be an example to let couple know that there is excitement in
It is.
marriage.
It is.
There,
It is.
love is still in marriage.
That's right.
There's
It is.
strength in marriage. When
Yeah.
you come together and work together.
Mhm.
And so that's what some of the things I want to see.
Yeah, and something else I think me and Don were talking about it earlier today, that a lot of time now, people don't see marriage as a ministry. This is a ministry together.
Right.
They see it as business.
Ooh.
A lot of marriage now is look like
Wow.
business. Like,
Wow.
okay, today we're gonna sit down and figure out who's gonna pay, what bills we're gonna pay. Then we're gonna you be on a itinerary.
Yeah,
You got an itinerary for
schedule.
marriage, a schedule. This morning we're gonna wake up. I say I love you. After that, make sure the draft get into the account. The third thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna do this. So it's kind of like a business, and you gotta be here. You can't be so people look at it as a business and not being spontaneous.
Right.
Say, oh, done. I love you so much. Nothing out of the norm.
Yes.
They just it's kind of like it's looking like business,
Wow.
not ministry. And it was set out to be a ministry among two people,
Mm-hmm,
a male and a female.
Yes,
But
yes.
now it's more like business. Got to pay the bills this week. Thursday, you know your check go in the bank. So what bills you gonna pay? We don't do any dates. Because when you go to work, you don't have no dates. You just go to work, and that's how a lot of people look at it as marriages now. This is business. So okay, Tuesday night is the day we're gonna sexually be together. Thursday we won't do it, but Friday we'll do it this day.
Right.
And so they set it up as a business and not a ministry. So, but once they get back to the ministry that God placed on the inside of them, we can see the manifestation of what marriages is supposed to be, and that's our vision of what we want to see over the next 25, 30, 40 years that we're together. You know, we want to see marriages rebuilt. And that's one of the things that we did on our last journey. This time last year, we did an Operation Date Night, where we gave them tools and where they had to financially, they couldn't go on a date with $100. They had to go on a date with $30.
Right.
How can you make this date work? Use what we have in this toolbox. So you gotta work together. They gotta build together. Because with ministry, even ministry in the church, everybody had to come together as a team to help building God's kingdom. So even with ministry and marriage, we have to come together and build and not make it look like it's just a business that you getting up in the morning, I'm going to work to be married.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
No, we're not going to work to be married. This is ministry, and ministry should be something fun. It should be something easy. It should be something enjoyable on a day-to-day basis. I mean, we'll crack up and bust out laughing about anything, just crazy stuff, you know, on a day-to-day. But of course, have we seen it this way all the time? No.
Right.
A lot of times we were on a business structure, but you know, we were like, okay, we're gonna do this. I have a game today, you go to the game. Might have a game, you gonna go to the game. Courtney's cheering, you go to the game. We were just on a business structure on what doing what. In the morning, you taking them to school. Your assignment for the business is you take them to school every day. Nothing for ministry of a marriage of, okay, we're going to love and nurture on the kids. We'll pray with them in the morning. Of course, I'll take them to school. That kind of stuff. But no, we was on the, we would get ourselves on a business schedule, and that's what's happening with marriages. And that's what we're trying to get away from. Let it be ministry
and not business. That's right. Right, because you want to see marriage flourish. You want to help marriages flourish. Well, talk about if a marriage is shaky, how does it affect the children? Let's talk about that for how does it affect the children if a marriage is shaky?
I feel that it can affect the kids in many aspects of their personhood, mentally, physically, emotionally. It can affect them with their schooling. And you can see even you can hear kids that don't grew up now talks about, you know, even like mom and dad get separated. And the kids take on their responsibility of it was their fault. So it plays a big role that, I mean, and we are the one that they're looking at in the home that they see most of the time. And we are the one that should be leading them and showing them how to love, how to embrace each other, how to not be throwing knives and throwing pots and pans and cussing at each other. And it irks me that even just to see a parent standing there with a child. I ran to the other day. I wanted to say something so bad, but you know, in this day and time, you gotta be scrapped. You can't say too much. You know, but and they was cussing this child out like this child was a grown person. You know, and it was sad. You know, it saddened me and hurt my heart. And I was like, wow, you know, because it kind of caused me to go back to where I come from, to hearing some of the cursing and hearing some of the, you know, the calling out the name and things. So it plays a vital role in the child development as they grow up. And so now you're teaching these kids how to not respect a man, or not to respect how to respect their husband, or not how to respect their wife, you beat on the woman, you know,
Uh-huh.
the child see that, you beat on the
They
woman, so the
gonna
child
go,
they
you know.
supposed to grow up and beat on the woman, or the man, you know, in certain cases, you got the woman beat on the
Yo,
man.
come on now,
You know,
yes,
so,
sir.
so it plays a vital role that we have to make sure that we do right by our kids that God has given us. You know,
Yes.
train up a child. It ain't just talking about in the church, in the ministry, it's talking about as a whole.
Oh, that's right.
You know,
Yeah.
so we got to make sure that we be that leader, they be that role model that the
Mhm,
kids need
Yeah.
to be, and be there for them.
Right.
You know, so you can help shape them to where who they need to be.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Because sometimes we miss that. We shape them to be everything else besides what they need to be.
What they
Yeah,
need
oh,
to
come
be.
on now, you better say that.
So it
That's
plays a
good.
vital role, vital part in
Vital part.
That's right.
Right.
their
Exactly.
life.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we become a product of
Yeah,
our environment.
environment.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
ma'am.
we carry it out into relationships
Yeah.
and marriage. If we get
Yes.
married, you
Mhm.
see what you did or what you experienced as a
Right.
child, it flows over
Flows
into your
over
marriage
into
or
your
into your relationship.
Yes.
So we have to be mindful. We're example setters,
Mhm.
you know.
Right.
And like I said, there's no perfect marriage, but we need to be the best example we can be, so that our children can have healthy relationships and healthy marriages.
Yes.
But if we're not portraying that at home, a lot of times we act one way at home, and then when we get in public, we act another way.
Yes, ma'am.
And so they see that when mama and dad is at home, they're monsters. But when they get out in front of everybody else, they're angels.
Yes.
ma'am.
So then that sets them in a sense of this is how it's supposed to be. You know, because when I grew up, you know, my parents was they were in church, but when they came home, we seen something totally different. And I didn't realize and recognize that until I got old and y'all got
Right.
saved. You know, and I was like, okay, well, this is how it's supposed to be. And guess what? I did the exact same thing that I saw.
Uh-huh.
I just did
That's
the
it.
exact same thing. And I came from abuse, my parents was, my mom was abused, you know, by my dad. And so when I grew up, I didn't abuse anybody, but I went right into an abusive marriage.
Yes.
Right.
And I was a product of my environment.
Yes.
Yes.
And so that's important that we set a firm, strong foundation
for them.
and yeah, exactly for them, so that they won't repeat the same things that we
Right.
do.
That's right.
You know,
That's
so that's good. That's good. We have to make sure we're watching out for our children.
Amen.
Let's talk about each person's role in a marriage and how did you all adjust coming into the marriage. Each person, because everybody has a role.
Right.
Everybody has a role.
Yeah, and Dunn always said that I was the strong one.
The strong one.
I was headstrong.
Yeah.
Coming into it, and he said he's elaborated on that earlier about me having my mindset of what I wanted to do, and I had to get to the point that okay, I gotta allow him to be the head of this house,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then being role setters. I mean, sometimes people say, "Oh, you let them handle this, let them handle this part," but we learn how to adjust and who's stronger in what
Come on
area.
now. Yes.
There's no need to give me building the shed if I had never been out there to
That's
nail a
right.
nail.
That's right.
It no need to send me outside to do a whole lot around our house because I'm scared of animals. It might be some rabbits out there and I just can't have. So don't that ain't my role.
That's right.
So-
That's right.
Yeah, it is my role. I can't go out there and cut the grass.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
know that ain't my role.
That's
I
right.
can't
We
do
look
it.
like a
It
bee.
may, it gone. He like lines in the grass that look good. So I know, we have to just to know what works for us
Very
and
good.
to know our roles in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, she and a lot of times men are kind of reluctant and kind of fearful of a strong woman that can hold her weight and hold
Yes.
her own.
Yes. Yes.
We had our struggles where there was time where she worked and I didn't work, or I worked and she worked.
Mm-hmm.
But either or, the house was still being ran.
Come on now.
Yes.
And I wasn't intimidated because of the money she made.
Right.
Right.
A lot of times men become intimidated by a woman make more money than they do.
Yes.
And I'm not that guy. Because I know what
Bring home the
we.
bread.
That's what I'm
We
saying.
all
So,
gonna-
I mean, I would do
going
things.
up.
Now, me, when it came to our bills, if I paid the bill, and that was time we was struggling.
Yes.
We was going through,
Yes.
we was financially struggling.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
And-
yes.
Mhm.
And she would send me to pay the bill.
Right.
Tell me to go pay the bill. See what I would do. I would pay the whole bill. But see, what she would do, she would take it
How to put it, make
and,
it.
put something here to make it work, to stretch it so it don't get cut off.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
this stuff won't get cut
and I
off.
learned that. I didn't get offended because, she said, John, this
Exactly.
ain't how you supposed to do that. You know what I'm
Pay
saying?
the whole
So
bill.
I realized, I said, okay, I'm not the bill payer.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I'm somewhat the breadwinner.
There you
You know what I'm
go.
saying? So I
That's
Yeah.
good.
and I put my money in the account, let it go in the account. I didn't worry about her, taking that money, going to get her hair done, even if she wanted to get it done,
That's
or
right.
get her feet done. I wasn't worried about that.
That's right. Because
At
she
the
was
end
gonna
of the
do
day,
what was
she was
right.
gonna do what was right. She gonna pay the bills and make sure that, and then come and give me what I need to have at the end of the day, because
Yes, I did.
that what was left. So I wasn't intimidated by that. And I realized that was her strong point of managing the bills and different things. So I did those things. So I pulled back and gave her what she was need to be, what she was good at, right? A strong point. So and that's how I learned, and we learned how to get along. So but as long as that I'm gonna keep this my money. But and you look at it now, the role play now is so different, because a woman go out and make just the amount of money that you make.
That's right. These
And
days,
work
that's
just
it.
as hard than you do.
That's
Back
right.
in the day, the man would go out and he work and the woman stay at home.
That's it.
And so
Yeah,
me,
she got a home.
where I come from, raised up at, it wasn't like that. I never believed that woman do the inside and the man do the outside.
No.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on inside.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And,
sir.
and not just inside the house, but I realized over the years that there's a lot that go on right here that she had to deal with mentally.
That's it.
She be on. We said, well, she ain't did that. She ain't work, cause we want track mind.
Sure.
And we said she ain't work. She ain't did that. What you tired of? But she don't stress over how she gonna pay these bills. She don't stress over these kids. She don't stress over this. She don't stress over that. How the daycare. She got. All this stuff. And the only thing I'm worried about is going to my job and coming back home. Maybe worry about the yard. That's it. I'm not tired.
That's right.
I'm sitting back waiting on mama to open the stove. But mama tired. And so you can't, but
Excuse me, talk show. He said store.
Yeah, on the store.
I thought he said the stove. I done worked. I done brought home the bread. I'm bringing
No
the
bad.
stove open so I can get my food.
No, he's talking about going in the stove. And when you get in the bedroom, that's
Yeah,
stove.
oh,
On the stove.
Okay.
Well,
Thank
yeah.
you for doing
He
me
went to the
tonight.
bedroom.
Come
Excuse
on.
us. He went to the bedroom and opened the stove. We just okay. We're
I
back.
love it. We're back.
Commercial break.
Okay, so the
Open
stove
the
is
store. I got
stove
you.
is
That's a
open.
new
What
one
you
on me.
got?
We'll get some stuff.
Yeah.
I love it. This is so good. This is powerful. I know y'all are enjoying it too, because I'm just overjoyed.
Ooh.
Hey man, that's awesome. So everyone have a role to play, and you have to find out what
What's your
you're
role?
right, what
Yeah.
you're prolific in, what you're good at, and that's how my husband and I do. We find out what we have found. We had to find out what I was good at, what he was good at, and we worked it. And it worked for us. It really worked for us.
Yes, ma'am.
Amen.
Yes, ma'am.
So what are some of the upcoming events that you all have for the married couples in this next year or the next couple of months? Tell us about that.
Well, we'll just talk about what we have coming up in the next few days.
For 3 days,
then,
okay.
Yeah, for the next few days, of course, we're on the road to 25 years.
Yes.
So actually, we
Anniversary.
going into our 25th anniversary. Our anniversary is in September 28th. And so we'll be 25 years in. So for the next few days, we will be being a blessing to couples. Normally we would do pop-ups and ride around the world. We don't know if we're gonna do that, but we will be out and about, being blessed to a couple, because people poured into us.
Yes.
Last year we did 28 days and we wanted to bless somebody 28 days, but this time we want to just do on the road to 25 and just start it off just a little later and to be a blessing. And then we'll be on the road for our anniversary, traveling just for a few days, just out and about. We chimed in and asked our audience, said, hey, what do y'all want us to do? Do y'all want us to run it back to do the same thing that we did? They was like, no, we know that you all are givers and sowers and y'all want to see marriages work. We want you all to do something for yourself this time.
Awesome.
So, But for the next 7 days, we'll be being blessing to married couples. Around, and most of the time people think it's, since we're local, we just do it locally. No, if it's somebody that win challenges that live in North Carolina, New York, we make our way to make sure we get
Get it to
the
them.
blessing to them, and we let them say, hey, let us know when you got it.
Mhm.
So that's what we got coming up in the next few days, and
Awesome.
hopefully we'll be able to kick some other things off
Mhm.
after we come back off of our the anniversary
Ooh,
road
ooh.
trip.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll have a few things in store, a few surprises here and there
Mhm.
that we want to just keep on the wraps. We won't tell them everything, but we definitely got some things coming up.
Awesome. That is awesome. Well, first I want to say happy anniversary
Thank you, thank
to
you.
Thank
you all.
you.
I thank God for you. And remember, we haven't exposed this yet, but in a couple of weeks, we hope to have some married couples back on set with us here on the You Better Say That Talk Show. This ends our talk show for today. Kudos to my niece and nephew, Elder Reginald and Katina Dunn. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to go to the You Better Say That Facebook page, like, share, and post. And you can run over to my YouTube page, Alzata Florence, and check us out there. Until next time, you better say that